Court of General Sessions for the District of Edgefield is now in session. All rise. Be seated.
All right, now, this court is ready to finish up the last case from this morning's session. Mr. Goodwin, sir, as the defense for the person here, what do you have to say on his behalf?
Your Honor. Gentlemen, you heard from the prosecution this morning that my client here, Dudley Roundtree, got into an affray with Henry Potts because Potts slandered his wife. And it seems that Potts is claiming that during this affray, my client bit off a large piece of his ear. Mr. Roundtree, did you indeed bite off a large piece of Henry Potts' ear?
Not that I recall, sir, but if I did, it sure weren't intentional. I ain't particularly fond of gnawing on leather. And that old Henry Potts, why his face looks like a dried up old sap.
Mr. Roundtree, I will not have any funny business in my courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor, but 'twarn't no funny business when that fellow told folks me wife was an easy piece.
Flying dumb here, Dudley Roundtree. I did no such thing, and he knows it.
I got witnesses to say
Your
you
witness
did.
is lying dumb heaps.
No, they ain't.
Yeah, Your Honor. The dogs are lying dumb heaps.
Sit down in this instance, Mr. Potts. I cannot believe you two lowlife, spitting the eye malefactors are defiling my courtroom. Shall we continue?
Your Honor, if my client did bite off a piece of Henry Potts' ear, and I'm not saying he did, but if he did, you could say it was justifiable, seeing as how the man slandered his wife. I move that the court dismiss the suit on the grounds that my client's actions were justified.
Your Honor! Gentlemen, it's plain from the bandages on Mr. Potts here that a painful mutilation was committed. Indeed, dare I say, that the injury to Mr. Potts was much worse than the slander awarded. I mean, if there was a slander, which there was not, of course. Whoa, Mr. Goodwin, your client is trying to put one over on you.
Well, very well then. I move that the plaintiff shows his bitten off ear. Perhaps it's not so bad at all.
What tarnation do you mean, Willis Blighter? I ain't got it here no more to show you.
Order! Mr. Potts will be charged $5 for defamation of the state's attorney. See to it, Mr. Bailiff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Another outburst like that, and I will have you thrown in jail. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Dr. Swarrington has ordered that my client keep his bandages on for another fortnight. Therefore,
Well, this is beyond the pale. Your Honor, how can the court rule fairly on this case if it has not been proven that Mr. Potts' ear is missing?
Very well. I see your point, Mr. Goodwin. Perhaps the best way to work this out will be to keep Mr. Roundtree here in confinement until the bandages are removed from Mr. Potts' ear. I've been in the place where the ear once was, or still might be. Carry on.
Your Honor, I ain't particularly fond of being kept in confinement for another 2 weeks. But the Edgefield jail, that's punishment worse than death. I just as soon admit he ran his ear into me teeth, and that's all there is to it. Shut up, Mr. Hunter.
he admits he bit off the ear.
I said no such thing.
Yes, you did, only you phrased it different. It's the same thing.
Low down scoundrel, Dudley Roundtree. You bit me off and you knows it. Your Honor, Judge, it weren't no accident. We're no accident. You bit me ear off and you knows it.
Don't you go making a mockery of this here legal proceedings, Henry Potts.
You bit me ear off and you knows it. Trying to
That
do
ain't
me.
the truth.
You low down scoundrel. You low down scoundrel.
Silence!
You dog me.
I have had enough here now. Mr. Goodwin, Mr. Frazier, gentlemen of the jury, in order to maintain the integrity of my courtroom, I rule that this case be held over until next week of court. Until then, we should know the extent of the injury of Mr. Potts' ear. In the meantime, I recommend bail for Mr. Roundtree in the amount of $100 and 2 sureties.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your clients are excused.
You low down scoundrel. You bit me ear off and you knows it, Dudley Roundtree. lined up, he'd be double lined up, just so you know your wife was an easy piece. Easy piece.
You on damn stick.
All right. Here's we have the same two attorneys arguing our next case. I trust this case will not be as troublesome as the last one. Yes, Mr. Bailey, read the charges.
I present case number 23 in the Court of General Sessions for Edgefield District, the state of South Carolina, versus Rebecca Cotton for the crime of murder.
It's the defendant ready.
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Dear Ms. Cotton, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God?
I do.
Thank you.
And how does the defendant plead to these charges? I mean the prisoner.
Your Honor, I most definitely am not guilty. I'm innocent. I really love my precious husband. I would never harm a hair on his head. I'm just so desperately lonely without him.
Well, your plea will be entered. Your plea will be entered as such, Mrs. Cotton, and Mr. Goodwin, you sir are the state's prosecutor. Who do you call to the stand?
Well, gentlemen, the case for the state is solid. The evidence of Rebecca Cotton's guilt is overwhelming. The testimony that brands her murderers is indisputable. Facts in this case are deplorable. They are unarguable. They show the worst of human nature. They defy madness. They baffle the mind. Why, this horrendous feat is unforgivable. It's outrageous. It's preposterous. It's incontestable. It is a shame.
We get the point, Mr. Goodwin. Yes, right. The details, if you please, give us the details.
Yes, sir. Gentlemen, I submit to you that Miss Rebecca Cotton murdered her husband in cold blood by bashing his brains to smithereens with an axe, and that she desecrated his body even further by tossing it into Beaver Dam Creek.
And who do you call as your first witness, Mr. Goodwin?
I call to the stand Daniel Rogers, Esquire.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God?
I do.
Thank you.
You may continue, Mr. Goodwin.
Sir, will you please tell the court your name and where you live?
I'm Daniel Rogers. I live on Beaver Dam Creek, not too far from here. I got me 286 acres of land, been in the family since before the Revolution.
And could you tell us the property owners, their names of those who border your land?
Yes, Martin Pardue, Boris Cloud, James Van are my three neighbors on the north, west, and east side in that order. And the recently deceased John Cotton's land mine on the southern boundary.
And how would you describe Beaver Dam Creek?
Well, I would say Beaver Dam Creek is a tributary of Turkey Creek. Mind you, it's not a swift-moving creek. Most of the year it's fairly shallow, except for the rain runoff. However, on the border between Cotton's land and mine, there's an unusually deep pool. I'd say it's about a mile and a half.
Very good, sir. Now, will you tell the court what you were doing on March 14th, 1811?
Yes, I was supervising the field hand. We were working that land that bordered Beaver Dam Creek. Some of the hands went to the creek to get some water, and one of them came running up to me to report that there was a dead body floating in the reeds that bordered the creek. I instructed him to bring the body up, and I immediately recognized the remains of John Cotton, my neighbor on the south end of the dam. Rebecca Cotton, his wife, had told everybody in the neighborhood that he was away on business, and she didn't know when he would return.
And did you believe Mrs. Cotton's story? that her husband was away?
Well, my neighbors and I had some real doubts whether he was away. We knew what cat and dog-like marriage they had ever since old man Kennedy was killed. Word around the neighborhood was that she didn't like him very much. Well, we had our doubts and suspicions, but we didn't know what to do, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Frazier, you are the attorney for the defense. Do you have any questions for the client here?
No, Your Honor, it's pretty cut and dry.
Very well. Shall we proceed?
I would like to call as my next witness the field hand who found the body. That would be Samson. Samson, come on up here. Now, Samson, was it you who found the body?
Yes, sir.
How did you find it?
Well, sir, I saw it just come up upon it like,
Well, what do you mean you just saw it come up upon it?
well, I was getting some water with the other hands, and they were stirring all the place up. So I went down just a ways to get some good, clear water, and that's when I just about turned white. Yes, sir. Like this, I see Mr. Cotton's body just floating in the reeds, dead as a squash horsefly. Like it scared me to death.
And what'd you do next?
Well, that body gave me the heebie-jeebies. So I reckon I ran faster than I ever have down to Mr. Rogers and told him what I found.
Thank you, Samson. Good job. Gentlemen, I submit to you that Miss Rebecca Cotton here murdered her husband and attempted to submerge his body into Beaver Dam Creek, thinking it'd never be found. Perhaps it never would have been found had it not been for the whims of nature. And good old Samson here.
Egregious! A murderess? A murderess, you say? Why, Mr. Goodwin, that is a false claim.
Your Honor.
This angel before us could never execute such an evil deed.
Order in the court. Sit down this instant, Major Ellis. This is not the time or the place to determine the guilt or innocence of the Mrs. Cotton. I mean the carry on, please. Mr. Frazier, do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay, the state has rested, the defense has rested, and you have both presented your cases very well. It appears that our jury has reached a verdict and is ready to present it.
Will the defendant rise?
Major Ellis, Mr. Foreman, on the charges of Mrs. Rebecca Cotton of cold-blooded murder in the first degree, what do you have to say, sir?
We find the beautiful defendant to be a stunning example of piousness and femininity. She proclaimed her innocence in a clear and eloquent fashion. Why, Miss Cotton, you are perfectly lovely. Indeed, how could anyone possibly think she could carry out such an egregious attack?
Mr. Foreman, give us the verdict, please. The verdict.
Quite so, Your Honor. We find her not guilty.
Very well, then. Mrs. Rebecca Cotton, you've been found not guilty by a jury of your peers and are free to go. You are excused. This court for the General Sessions for the District of Edgefield is adjourned.
Miss Cotton, but I beg your pardon, ma'am. I just wanted to tell you I never once thought you capable of such an evil deed.
Why, thank you, sir, and you are?
Major Ellis, at your service, dear madam. May I escort you home?
Why, Major, I would be honored.
Oh my, oh dear me, what a terrible story.
Oh, no, don't say she got away with murder, huh?
But don't that beat all? I reckon Major Ellis was all heat up over a pretty face.
Ah, my friends, Becky Cotton got away with murdering her husband. Duty prevailed against justice, and this self-made widow forced her way through the sacred nettings of the law.
She was bestowed with such beauty that the men in that Edgefield jury were blind to her true character. 'Tis a failing that many a good man has. A woman's beauty can often lead the most God-fearing gentleman to overlook her shortcomings. But don't let me interrupt, Parson.
Ah, 'tis true. Take Major Ellis, for example.
Oh, no, don't say he fell in love with her.
Ah, he most certainly did, and he married her to boot.
He did? No.
Oh, men.
He done gone and got hitched to the devil.
Poor Major Ellis and Becky Cotton killed him too?
Wait till you hear the end of my story, little one.
I'll have you know that not all beautiful women are evil. Why, when I was a young woman, I was quite the beauty indeed. I was the talk of the town.
Why, you still are the talk of the town.
Mind you, I had not a mean bone in my body back then. But times change. Take right now, for example. I find myself wanting to flay the hide off the stuff.
Somebody get this crazy woman off me.
Angel, Duffy, you should have been put on someone's knee when you were a child. Just look what you've become.
All right, now. Now, do you want to hear the rest of my story or not?
Yes,
Well,
Chris,
of course I do.
tell us the rest of the story.
Okay, now, where was I?
You was at the part where that Becky lady was leaving on the arm of Major Ellis. She was leaving the car house.
Why, damn me, you was paying attention, Gilroy.
He's a sight more intelligent than you is, McDuffie.
Why, you really live at some...
Profanity in the presence of a parson and my granddaughter, why did Duffy have a good mind of...
All right, now, citizens. Now, you remember Becky's brother, Stephen, was forced by his sister to aid her in getting rid of Cotton's body? Well, of course, he was stunned at the outcome of the trial, because he knew his sister was guilty of murdering her husband. Ever since the time of the murder, he'd been tormented by guilt.
I heard that by day he lamented the role that he had played until he could do naught but sit and brood. And by night his dreams were infused with visions of Cotton's body as it sunk slowly to the bottom of the Beaver Dam pool. But don't let me interrupt, Parson.
Then on the third day it rose.
It did?
Don't be silly, Gilroy. Of course John Cotton didn't rise on the third day.
But Jesus did, isn't that right, Parson Lee?
Quite right, my dear, quite right.
McDuffie, you are blaspheming this in a sermon, please.
You all seem to have a problem staying with my sermon. Let us return to beguiling Miss Cotton. Do you want to find out what happened to her? Or not?
Yes, Parson, we want to know.
All right. Now, as I've said, Major Ellis was besotted with the beautiful Becky. Following the murder trial, he courted her for less than 2 months before he proposed marriage. The Major was a wealthy man with a good reputation, And Becky, having been indulged and pampered by an adoring father all her life, believed it was her due to be married to such a man.
Of course, this marriage soon became tedious to Becky, whose ravenous appetite for new and better things began to show itself within months of their union. But don't let me interrupt you.
Alas, poor Major Ellis could be seen around the streets of Edgefield, dutifully following his wife around Village Square as she spent her money. He was often seen toting her packages and waiting patiently for her while she stood flirting outrageously with other men.
Oh, that Becky was indeed a trollop.
If it was my wife, I would knock her over the side of the head.
Well, hell, McDuffie, you knocked your wife over the side of the head for lesser acts than mere flirting.
Will y'all stop disrupting the preacher?
Now, hark now, citizens. What happened next was God's revenge against cruelty to husbands. For many months following the murder of John Cotton, Stephen Kennedy had been living in fear for his life, for it had been told to him that his sister was trying to find someone to murder him. You see, he knew too much. Well, with these grievances, his passions rose and rapid stride to a dreadful pitch until one day all his fear and loathing burst from him.
Oh, how I recall that day. His eruption happened on the sale day when the Edgefield Village Square was crowded. Becky Cotton had finished her round of shopping and was standing on the steps of the courthouse flirting disgracefully with another gentleman, while, as usual, her long-suffering husband stood by submissively holding her packages. But don't let me interrupt you.
You're always interrupting.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Into the village rode Stephen Kennedy. He espied his sister carrying on in her usual provocative manner. And this was the moment of his great eruption. A heaving fury came upon him, such that it was impossible to suppress. He dismounted from his horse, picked up a large stone from the street, and marched purposely towards the courthouse steps. There were several strong men in the crowd that day, and yet it appeared not one of them had the power to stop Stephen Kennedy. His wretched sister's hour was come. So, with the stone in his hand behind him, he came up close to where she was standing, unobserved of him. He reached back, drew back his arm, and with all his might, he drove that stone against her temple. It cracked her with such force that she fell, quivering and senseless, to the ground. "There, you vile, hellish woman, take that!" After this, quick steps, Stephen strode to his horse, mounted him, and galloped out of the village square, while not one person in all the crowd made an attempt to stop him. He was never seen again. Some say he disappeared into the distant lands of Alabama.
Alabama. I always wanted to go to Alabama.
Well, I wish you would take off right now.
Here we go again.
Oh no, Grandmother, you're interrupting.
Listen to me, people. Becky Cotton died that day. Yes, she died right on the courthouse steps.
Or so we think. You see, there are many claims that she walks in the shadows of the village of Edgefield, a restless spirit who, because of her dastardly sin, is damned to eternity. But don't let me interrupt, Parson.
Becky Cotton, by her actions, has affixed a label to Edgefield that will doubtless color her reputation for all times. My friends, God leads me, my humble ministry, all over this great nation. And because of her evil deeds, wherever I go, I hear folks whisper, there's the thinnest crust on earth between the entire district of Edgefield and hell. Could it be true?
Hush, my voice, and I ever tonight to see the shadows there. This world is full of twisting frights and spooks who love to scare. You have
mercy on Edgefield. Last call.